We've got the Honda Civic Si. We've been waiting for this one.
And waiting. Now's the time to drive it. Oh, did you hear that rev hang? There's a bit of a rev hang.
There's a little bit of a rev hang.
Yeah, that's a bit of an issue. But other than that, we really like this car. Andrew, what's under the hood of this Civic Si?
A 1.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder with a 6-speed manual transmission. 200 horsepower and 192 pound-feet of torque. This is a front-wheel drive model, and premium fuel is recommended, but you can use regular fuel.
Coming up about halfway through, we have a segment called Questions, Coffee, and Cars.
Yep.
There's some questions about, is it available with an automatic or just a manual, and more, so stick around for that. Right now we're going to go through only one trim. What do you get with this Si?
The Si comes with a 10.2-inch digital driver display, a 9-inch touchscreen with navigation, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, a wireless charger, 6-way manual driver seat, 4-way manual passenger seat, black and red Si heated sport seats, heated steering wheel, a 12-speaker Bose sound system, heated rear seats, a moonroof, and Honda Sensing driver assistive features. In the US, a 7-inch driver display is standard, and a heated steering wheel as well as heated rear seats are not available on the Si in the US.
This does have drive modes. Sport is always a favorite of ours. What else can you put it in?
You got to put it in S for subscribe, and if you can hit that notification bell, you'll be notified when all of our reviews drop, and then you can watch them.
And we do this, the couple car review, twice a week. The first one drops on Wednesday.
We put another one out on Saturday.
So make sure you like and subscribe, but also follow along on Instagram. It's Motormouth_Andrea to see what's going on behind the scenes. For me, it's Motormouth_Auto, and links are below the like button.
This video is brought to you by Car Cost Canada. Get the dealer's cost, list of rebates, plus discounted interest rates. Use the promo code MOTORMOUTH to become an expert member and get extra searches. The link is in the description below.
Now, for many, many years, decades in fact, the top banana was the Si. They didn't have the Type R, and I still think this is the best overall Honda Civic if you like a little bit more performance.
Yeah, and I think that this offers a lot of value. You know, you get a more powerful Civic, 200 horsepower, plenty of power. It really corners well. I like the feel of the steering. It's not too heavy, but you still have a great feel to it. You know, it doesn't feel like you're just driving such a light steering type vehicle. And then the 6-speed manual is quick. It's smooth shifting. I really like it a lot.
One omission from the previous Si to this model is they brought out the Integra.
Yeah.
So what did they take out of the Si? The adaptive suspension, which was available in the previous model. So if you want that technology, they want you to spend more. And to get the equivalent car in the Integra in Canada is 10 grand more with a manual transmission. So that's a big jump to get the adaptive suspension. But I think they've come up with a really nice balance with the suspension. Like the Civic, this latest platform has fantastic road manners on the base models, and then you add in a more performance-oriented suspension. It's good, it's refined, but it doesn't beat you up. So I think if you lived in an area with a lot of potholes in eastern US and Canada, you could get by with this.
And I think that's exactly it. You get a sport sedan like this, I actually want a bit of a firmer suspension. I don't want it to be super comfortable. We do have a viewer who bought this exact model, and he is missing the adaptive damping because he says the roads that he is driving on are pretty rough, and he says he's really feeling it.
But it's all down to personal taste. Like,
we would be fine here.
Yeah, I would be totally happy driving this every day. But you know what? I've driven lots of cars with way firmer suspension, so this one feels really quite middle of the ground if you ask me.
Now it still has a limited slip differential, so you're getting that in this model. And also active sound control. You've got a lot of safety features like adaptive cruise control, blind spot monitoring, and rear cross traffic alert, lane keep assist. So you've got some great standard features there.
Really, at the essence, the Si and the Integra are the same platform, they're the same drivetrain, the same manual transmission. It comes down to packaging. This is really where your money should be placed. That is more a badge exercise, in my opinion. Other than the adaptive suspension, there's not much in it.
I do like the Integra a lot. I think that, I don't know, it's got a real cool vibe to it.
It's the badge.
It's got that nameplate to it.
See?
And I don't know. There's something about the Integra, you know, that I am a big fan of. But am I going to spend $10,000 more for it over this SI? Well, now that I've been in the SI, probably not.
You're coming round to my way of thinking. Yeah.
It's a lot of money.
I was right. All right. We forgot to mention it just a moment ago, and I mentioned it at the very, very beginning. Rev hang is when you're accelerating and then you put the clutch in to change gears and the revs don't drop down.
Yes.
That's called rev hang. They hang up. And this car does that. It's a bit annoying, but is it going to stop me from buying it? Probably not. And some of the controls, like I find the clutch take up is very, very, very light.
Yeah.
So somebody that's really more advanced with a manual transmission might not find this precise enough. But for new drivers, they're going to love it.
Yeah.
You know, Andrea, I always say I don't like black wheels, but these are matte black, and I think with this car, it kind of works. And I still don't like black wheels, but I think this car looks pretty good. But it isn't boy racer in any way.
I mean, Honda did try to make it a little bit sportier with black exterior accents and the gloss black spoiler. Like you said, Zach, 18-inch black wheels. It also comes standard with LED headlights, LED fog lights, and it gets a temporary spare tire in Canada, but in the US, it's a tire repair kit.
What?
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
I don't know.
But you know
what
what?
The reason?
Oh, anyway, type below. Let us know. What do you think of the looks? I know there's going to be a big camp of people saying it's not boy racer enough.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a lot of maybe slightly older buyers who say, I don't want that. I want something that's a little more fun, and I want to fly under the radar for the cops.
And it also has more of a European vibe to it. I think this new Civic looks more European in general. I'm a big fan of the look. I get it. It's not for everyone.
And then Honda was criticized by a lot of reviewers for using this same interior in the HR-V and the CR-V. But when we first got the Civic 2 years ago, this latest updated model, we were blown away by the interior.
Yeah.
So I think they rightfully took this winning formula and used it in other products. And every time I get in it, I'm like, this feels quality. I like the layout. It's ergonomically well done. Real switches and dials, a proper volume knob.
Yeah.
You know, you could buy this and it's future-proof. It's got the technology you need.
And with this SI model, they've got the red and black seats, and you've got SI badging. And then I really like how they went with some red trim for that honeycomb accent across the dash. I think it looks really sharp. It's just that little extra detail that makes a big difference in this interior.
You know where they copied that from?
What?
The GTI.
I knew you were going to say
Yeah,
that.
GTI has a little stripe of red around the car too.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's pretty good company. And I think that's really the market they're after too. And the GLI.
I like the fact that Honda just went with one trim in this SI. It keeps things really simple. Now, we already went through all the key standard features, so we don't have to get into anything else. You know what you're getting.
This is the easiest review ever, Andrea.
Isn't it? Yeah. So easy. I also think the comfort level in here is great. I like the seating position. Everything is at my fingertips here. There's enough storage in here for a sedan. And I would say plenty of thigh support as well.
Now, the one thing about a Honda Civic is it's a very big, compact sedan. We have a Honda Civic ourselves, and the back seat is enormous, so there's plenty of room in the back seat.
Comparing the Civic Si to one of its competitors, like the Subaru WRX, the Civic offers 42.3 inches of front row legroom, which is great, but it's about an inch less than the WRX. Second row legroom is big at 37.4 inches, beating out the Subaru by almost an inch.
The nice thing about this trunk is it's spring-loaded, so when you release it, it pops up. It's not power-operated, it's spring-loaded. And you have an enormous trunk, and you can release the seats and fold them down. I know it's not a hatchback, but this is a very useful cargo space.
Cargo space at 14.4 cubic feet is excellent, offering a little bit more than the WRX.
We got lots of questions about the transmission, so let's get into that.
Time now for questions, coffee, and cars.
Your questions from Instagram.
Does this come in automatic or only manual? How is the street noise in the cabin?
Well, that's an easy one. It only comes with a manual.
Six-speed manual.
And it's disappointing, just to back this up a little bit. years ago, they used to have a 2.4 liter 4-cylinder with a dual clutch in the ILX, which was the Acura based on the Honda Civic. So they actually have the engineering for a dual clutch. They just refuse to put it in with a 4-cylinder in the Acura, the Integra, or this.
I know. So it's
annoying.
just a 6-speed manual, and then all other Civics, CVT, except the hatchback, also gets a 6-speed manual and a CVT.
Honda, you have a dual clutch, use it.
Now, cabin noise is very good. This comes with an acoustic windshield, and I find even at highway speeds, I'm pretty impressed with how quiet the cabin remains.
Yeah, this new platform is much more polished than the previous car.
Yeah. I love the car. Wish they'd offer it with leather seats. I'm considering the Acura for this reason. Looking forward to driving one. Honda manuals are so fabulous. I love Honda manuals.
Yeah,
Love them.
Okay, if you do not know how to drive a manual transmission, the easiest car to learn on is a Honda Civic, whether it's
So
the
easy.
SI or just the regular Honda
Yeah.
Civic. But this is really where Andrea mastered it.
Oh, I just loved it. I mastered it in the Civic hatchback, and then we got the Acura Integra, and it just took me over the edge.
I told Andrea, there'll be a point in your brain where you just get it. And it was really with the Integra, which is essentially the same car as this.
Yeah.
So if you're kind of worried about driving a manual, this is so easy. It's almost too forgiving for people who are more experienced, in my opinion. It's a little too vague.
You're right. This doesn't come with leather seats. Only one trim for the SI, but I kind of like these cloth seats.
Yeah.
They're comfortable. In the summer, they stay cooler. In the winter, they're a little bit warmer. The only problem, and Honda, you did it with the Acura Integra. Why don't you carry these nice black and red seats into the rear
It's
seat?
ridiculous. These are just black in the back, and you get the nice red insert.
I know.
Just do the same in the back.
I mean, how much money can you really be saving?
Well,
Tell me.
They're saving some money, but it just makes the car come off as cheap. It's just like a detail that I'm trying to think if they do that with like a GTI or not, but it's just the detail that you shouldn't omit. You should just do it. And you could even throw in red seat belts.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think these cloth seats are super comfortable. I bet you if you sat in them, you might really like them.
And the reason why not available on leather, they want you want that? Oh, they'll sell you that in an Integra.
Yeah.
For 10 grand more for the manual.
Yeah, which is what you're looking at, right? That's what you want. Between Civic Si and base WRX, which one would you choose and why?
Yeah.
Well, I think really because this is just one trim, the Si, and it comes loaded with a lot of features. I think you really have to compare it to the top trim WRX with
How much
the manual
is that,
transmission.
Andrea? How much is that?
That's just under 41,000 Canadian, and this is just over 37,000 Canadian. So.
But you get way more power. Is it like around 70 more horsepower?
71 horsepower more torque, 258 pound-feet of torque for the WRX.
And all-wheel drive, of course. And they have a manual, and that's a lot more car for $3 grand more, to be honest with you.
The only thing is, I prefer the exterior of the Civic. It's the cladding on the WRX. I don't know. I just can't get behind it.
And now it's time for our hot topic. What's this one, Andrea?
How does it feel shifting gears in this compared to other manuals you've driven?
So we talked about the rev hang, which is a bit of an issue, and the kind of overly light clutch for more of a performance sedan.
Yeah.
But one of the strong points Andrea talked about is the steering, and also the throws are very positive.
Yeah.
You don't have a spongy transmission where are you in the gear or not in the gear? You get this nice little click, not a click, but a little, it snugs into gear, and it's really satisfying.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I think this is probably one of my favorite manual transmissions. I also like Volkswagen's 6-speed manual as well in the GTI and the GLI. I think those are my favorite. Recently we had the Mazda MX-5.
Ooh,
that was really good too.
And just the other day we drove the 911 GT3.
Yes.
That's a totally different category.
Oh yeah.
But you know what?
The shifts were great, smooth. But it was the clutch that you really, had to kind of figure out and practice with it, didn't you think?
Well, that's the whole thing. Like for somebody that's performance-oriented driver and with a lot of experience,
Yeah.
you want that clutch feel to be sort of an on and off point. With this, you don't get an on and off point. You get a bit of a spongy feel.
Yes.
But back to the point again, if you're a new driver, this is fantastic
Or
to
if you
learn
just
on.
want something that's comfortable
Easy.
and easy to drive, this is just perfect. You can get in your vehicle, you've got a manual transmission, it's still engaging and fun, but easy.
They should still offer it with the dual clutch. No CVT nonsense, Honda.
Yes, I know.
You have a dual clutch. We know it exists.
Yeah.
With a 4-cylinder, make it work. What we're going to do now is run through the vital stats like the price and the fuel economy and more.
Yeah. Let's start with pricing. The Civic Si starts at just over $37,000 in Canada and $28,800 in the US.
And here's the fuel economy, 8.7 liters per 100 kilometers in the city, 6.4 on the highway. That's 27 miles per gallon city, 37 miles per gallon highway. The warranty is 3 years, 60,000 kilometers, or 36,000 miles. So you like the idea of a small compact car, a little runabout, but want some fun. What else can you buy?
For your consideration, 4 vehicles for you to consider.
Up first is a Subaru WRX. It has a 2.4-liter boxer engine, 271 horsepower, and a starting price just under $32,500.
The Volkswagen GLI with a 2-liter 4-cylinder, 228 horsepower, and a starting price of $35,500.
The Hyundai Elantra N with a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, 276 horsepower, and a starting price just over $40,000.
The Acura Integra, the cousin to this vehicle, with the same 1.5-liter turbo 4-cylinder with 200 horsepower and a starting price of $41,500.
So there are 4 fun compact cars for you to consider.
Lightning round. 2 things we like, 2 things we like to see improved.
I really like the comfort level in here for a performance sedan.
I actually like the sleeper look.
I'd love to see a height adjustment on the passenger side and take this sporty style and take it into the back.
And it really hurts me to say this, to advocate for automatic transmissions, but you would sell a whole lot more of these if you did have that dual clutch.
Yeah. Well, it's not the Type R, but it's probably enough for most people.
If I was buying a Civic, this would be the one.
This video is brought to you by Car Cost Canada. Get the dealer's cost, list of rebates, plus discounted interest rates. Use the promo code Motormouth to become an expert member and get extra searches. The link is in the description below.